Hi all. Welcome to Data Types in SQL Server. In this video, we'll talk about a couple of the data types that are available in SQL Server. So the first thing is that the link to Microsoft SQL Server documentation. I'll put this in our video description so you have access to the link and you can click and come here when you need to refer to or use them as a reference. Right, the data type category that there are, you have the exact numerics, Unicode characters, approximate numerics, binary, string, other data types, and date and time character strings as well. So if we went to the exact numerics, we'll pick up the int as an example. Just we'll talk through that. Click on int. You'll see that int is in a category as int, big int, small int, and tiny int. So you've got like a few different versions of the int data type, and these are the data that you use to store the whole number. So the whole number, for example, if you picked up tiny int, it will only store up to 255 numbers for you, and it will take 1 byte on your system. The next one up than that is the small int, and that takes 2 bytes of the system storage. You've got int, which will take 4 bytes. You've got big int, is going to take 8 bytes. And what that means is, so if for example you've got a big int assigned to a data type that you will only store a smaller number. For example, you've got someone whose age, you've got a person's age that you need to store in a column. Uh, it would be less likely that you'll have someone whose age is over 255. So you do not want to assign age as a big int. And the reason for that is, every time that you add a record, the age field will take 8 bytes. So depending on the number of people and the number of employees or number of customers that you'll have on your system on your database, and that too if you're a big large organization, you could waste a lot of time by just not using the right data type. So in that case you will only use tiny int because someone's age will never be over 255. That's just an example of the a full number. And if you wanted to store, maybe say you've got a character. Now you've got characters, you've got a var character, which is varchar. You've got text in here as well. So characters will store a small number of characters for you, and that will only be including all the Latin characters. Or for anything that you have is non-Latin, all the special characters that will not be stored in here. And you do have another data character for another data type for that, which is then called n character or nchar. So nchar is in itself is national, so it is just down to where you are, and if there are any special characters in your system, you would use n character instead of just the char data type. You've got the same thing about varchar, so that is going to store a fixed number of attacks that you have. You know that there will be an amount of text in a field. What it says, if we just read about this one, so variable size string data. So it is a variable size string data which value from 1000, from 1 through to 8000. Or you could use the max to allow as many characters as you want to allow. Again, you can read the remarks and the rest of the specification about the varchar data type if you want to use. But then if you wanted to include any special characters in here, national characters, the alternative to varchar will be in varchar. And as I said, this is just a link to the Microsoft documentation. You can go through each and every one, read about them,